Hello everyone! Today I'm going to talk about one of the most famous and tragic events in history, the sinking of RMS Titanic. This was not just a maritime disaster, it was a profound human story that shocked the entire world and forever changed the way we think about safari, technology, and nature's power. First, let's see the scene. In the early 1900s, there was a fierce competition among shipping companies to build the biggest and fastest ocean liners. The White Star Line decided to focus on seas and luxury instead of speed, and so they built the RMS Titanic. It was a colossal ship, the largest moving object ever made by humans at that time. It was hailed as a marvel of modern engineering, with its 16 wartime compartments designed to keep it afloat even if several were flooded. This led many people, including some experts, to famously believe that the ship was practically unsinkable. Then, on a sunny day, April 10, 1912, the Titanic embarked on its maiden voyage from Southampton, England, carrying the hopes and dreams of over 2,200 people bound for New York City. The ship was like a fluorescent city, with a strict class system. On the upper decks, first-class passengers are enjoying unimaginable luxury. They are eating multi-course meals in opulent dining saloons, swimming in the pool, and relaxing in spacious cabins. Meanwhile, in their class, hundreds of immigrants are sharing smaller rooms, full of excitement for the promise of a new beginning in America. For everyone on board, the atmosphere is full of hope and anticipation. The journey is calm. Atlantic Ocean is surprisingly peaceful. But this sense of security was about to share it. Throughout that day, the Titanic received several wireless messages from other ships warning of heavy ice fields in the area. However, these crucial warnings were not taken seriously enough. The ship maintained its high speed. Then, one the cold, moonless night of April 14th, and about 11:40 p.m. Lookout Frederick Fleet spotted a dark mass directed ahead. It was a massive iceberg. He immediately rang the warning bell and found the bridge. The officers tried their best to steer away and reserve the engines, but it was too late. The immense ship raced along the side of the iceberg underwater. Two toes on deck. It felt like a slight shudders, but below the waterline, the ice had torn a fatal gash along the ship's hull. After their initial impact, the true scale of the disaster unfolded slowly. At first, many passengers didn't realize anything was seriously wrong. Captain Smith and the ship's designer, Thomas Andrews, soon understood the horrifying truth. The damage was too extensive. The watertight compartments were falling one after another. The Titanic was going to sink. The other was given to cover the lifeboats and prepare two passengers. But here was the catastrophic flaw. The ship only carried enough lifeboats for about half of the people on board. As the crew was launching the lifeboats, they were following the strict women and children first protocol. The ship was tilting more and more into the frigid water, creating a terrifying angle. Finally, 2:20 a.m. on April 15, the stress became too much. As the great ship broke in two, the stern section rose vertically into the air before sliding beneath the freezing waves, disappearing into the silent darkness. The aftermath was a scene of utter horror. Hundreds of people were plunged into the -2 degrees 28 Fahrenheit water. In those temperatures, hypothermia could kill a person in minutes. The cries for help were soon silenced. Meanwhile, the RMS Carpathia, having heard the Titanic's desperate distress signals, received top speed through the dangerous ice field to help. It arrived around 4 a.m., but by then the silence was deafening. The Carpathia's crew worked tirelessly to rescue the stranded survivors from the lifeboats. In the end, they saved 705 people. The tragic relic was that over 1,500 souls were lost that night. So, why is this event from over a century ago still so important for us today? Because the tragedy serves as a brutal wake-up call to the world. It exposes critical failures in maritime safari practice. In response, the first international convention for the safari of life and sea was established in 1940. Today, as a direct result of the Titanic, laws require that every ship has enough lifeboat space for every single person on board. There are mandatory lifeboat drills, 24-hour radio monitoring, and international ice patrols to monitor iceberg dangers in the North Atlantic. We are still applying the lesson learned from that, a full night to ensure safer travel across the world's oceans. Furthermore, the story of the Titanic is not just in the storybooks. Today, scientists and explorers are still studying the Greek age on the ocean floor to understand exactly how it sank and preserve its memory. Documentary filmmakers are constantly creating new films about it, and museums around the world are displaying recovered artifacts, telling the personal stories of those on board. The Titanic continues to captivate imagination because it is a powerful human drama of hubris, courage, and resilience. In conclusion, the Titanic was more than a ship. It was a powerful symbol of the early 20th century optimism and its limits. Its story is a permanent reminder of human fallibility, the consequence of overconfidence, and the incredible bravery that people can show in the face of unimaginable terror. It is a historical event that we must never forget, not only for the life lost but for the vital lesson it taught humanity. Thank you.